The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi, folks, we're back, and after that news, 10 o'clock news report, we're looking at a particular pattern right now. I had a question that someone had a trough G in the Chapman wave on the E-mini 120-minute chart. Basically, what I'm looking at here is if you go to, I like to count every single trough once you've got the turnaround point from the top, or every peak as you've got the turnaround from the bottom. So if that was the case, then you would go right there at, that was at 12, midnight on the 17th. That was at noon. Yeah, that was noon. And then what happens is it rallies and it fails. But if you take that as A and then go B, C, D, E, F, then you do get a G. But I count those inside ones in this rectangle here because those troughs are important. Once you've got your turning point, so that would be A, B, C, D. And then I would normally do this Chapman wave instant restart, but to the downside, because within 3 bars, it makes a lower low. In fact, it doesn't even make a peak. It just pops up once. And there you are. You see instant restart, and then it starts new. E/A, F/B, G/C, and then you get your D. And right now, at this particular point, you're ready to at least attempt a bounce. All right? That's the way we want to look at it. So good eye. I don't disagree. It's just that I'm kind of fussy about your obligation is to count each successively higher peak and lower trough. All right. So what we're looking at now is, let's just go to the Dow. I'll do this again. The Dow is trying to come off the low today of 32,987. It's back in the 33,000, 33,084, up 21. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. There's a lot of resistance. At the same time, I'm thinking you could get a 1-to-1, 34,281, down to the low today of 32,000. Let's call it 33,000. So let's call it almost a 300-point decline. And on any bounce, you could start a count to the downside of another 300 points down. But that's not really, did I say 300 points down? 34,281. Sorry, 1,281, that's what I meant to say. And any balance, you could say, yep, we could get a 1-to-1, maybe even down to the 50-period exponential moving average at about 32,550. No, I think that I'm looking at, we did put a short on yesterday. We've taken a bunch off our longs. We're out of our triple long in one area, one part of a triple long in another area. I still have the triple long. Still have the long, the Dows. And I'm just saying that I was expecting that the daily chart was now vulnerable to a downturn based on getting to the peak F/B, F/C in the Dow. But yesterday's action made it a peak F. And now I think there's a choppiness. But I think a huge amount of selling pressure has been alleviated. Can it go on? Yeah, there are a lot of things that are still going to happen this week. Various indicators to tell us about inflation, all sorts of things. But most importantly, if you're looking at the pattern of that weekly chart is still very strong. And it's in leg B, the doji candle, so it could have a pullback. No new high this week of 34,282. In the S&P's case, it would be the S&P in leg B as well. In the weekly chart, F sell signal, both the Dow and the S&P have sell signals in the daily charts. And that says that if the S&P is not going to break above 43.2528 this week, it makes a peak B. But this whole cluster area of 4120 to the 4100s, that should be good support. That's what I'm looking at based on the weekly charts. Could be totally wrong, but that's the way it is. Now let's go to the QQQ. As I say, we have still long position, 3 times on the QQQ. 334.42 was a peak G doji candle high. It's in a sell signal, not yet a sell mode. The 9 is still over the 14-period moving average. It's trying to rally. It's up 253 at 316.75. I like what I'm seeing here. I did go to a leg D in the 120-minute chart. I forgot to put that in. I'll put it in right now. There's your C, and there is your D. And a down arrow comes in. So the 120-minute chart in each of these indices, they are in sell modes, not the dailies. All right. So with that said, we're looking at, let's go to the XLK. XLK, which is the S&P, went to a peak D, doji candle high, and it too has got, well, this is a little more suspect. It's got a peak D. Yeah, technically, I have no choice. I have to put a down arrow. He has a sell signal at least. Not yet upgraded to a sell mode, but it's right on the 200-period moving average of 145. This is the S&P Select Tech Spider Fund. Nice action, actually, considering the inverse V-shaped pattern that we're looking at. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't do that. It's a peak E. My mistake. I was doing that a little too quickly. Never skip a peak. 147.43, 147.43, 140. Yep, that's it. So there's your peak D. Almost a Chapman wave instant. Well, you can put a circle of Chapman wave instant restart, but that's negated at this point. So it's an E. Yes. So all the key indices have got D, E, or F, maybe even a G. That's the QQQ. This is the consolidation we've been anticipating. And here again, the XLK weekly chart so far, hey, the week's just barely begun, 1 day. We've got not even a quarter day. It's not even an hour into the second trading day of the week. So far, 140 is going to be key support, 145.02 right now, up $1.05. So let's take a moment to look at this gold. Gold had a really sharp down move. It just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles. It had a peak D and then a silent doji, Chapman wave silent doji, then it bounced just a tad higher into the 1820 area, and then whoosh all the way down to 1740. And now it's at 1766. The weekly chart says, yeah, you can have a bit of a rally here, but a lot of work needs to be done before this really picks up, garners speed to the upside. Let's look at the silver. So it's 1766 right now. Silver is at 1910, up 22 cents. Not great action at all. This is just a single leg A to the downside. Unbelievable. So that, in a way, that's good because it's got a lot of the selling pressure out the way. How it handles 1850 over the next few days is going to be really important. Can it get to 1953 by Friday? That'll be a good sign, at least a good sign, not great, a good sign. Looking at high-grade copper, oh, leg D, there it is. We're missing the leg D. High-grade, this is a good sign that copper's acting well like this. And that's what I'm saying when I say to subscribers, I think a chunk of the work has been done to the downside in this particular very brief pullback. Will it accelerate? Well, my thinking here is that you're going to have a pretty decent bounce, but then you've got to be careful after that bounce is concluded. I'll get back to that in a moment.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the market's open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hi, folks. So yesterday, there was a number of people discussed the XLE, and I said it's made a peak C. It should try for a D. I wasn't sure exactly when it would go for that leg D. It did pull back to the low 77s, and at this particular point, it is at 82.36, and we had someone who said my target was 82 or something, 82.50. Great, very good call. And so this is leg D in the daily chart. It is helping the weekly. These weekly charts, in a weekly chart, when you get this U-shaped pattern, you have to expect that at some point it could fail. It makes like a right arm failure pattern or a dreaded H, but it looks like an inverted V at a peak A or a peak B. But as soon as the MACD turns positive after the sharp pullback, in this case it's still negative, this is the weekly chart, and the stochastic kind of gets to a 57 level and the on-balance volume is good. If at any point there's a crossover with the 9 period going over the 14, all of a sudden you can say, aha, maybe now we can get that cup formation. And it won't be a failure pattern. It'll be a target like you saw in the dollar where it made a cup formation all the way back to exactly the previous high. So what we're looking at here, how do you do the Chapman wave one-to-one? Well, you can't do a one-to-one from the left side to the right side from the low because you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've had 5 bars since the high, and you've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars from the low. So that doesn't work at all. So you have to say, okay, it's maybe extended. I'll find another midpoint, the plumb line. And I'm choosing where it is. I have specific areas that I always talk about. And this would be a little more aggressive. I'd like to be a little more conservative here because it is oil. Anything can happen in that patch. Things can happen within a split second, or it can suddenly stall and take a day or two. So my work says that by the week of September the 9th or the week of September the 16th, if it's going to continue higher, 93.31 would be the target. That's 11 points. That's a lot of points to go. So I like to go one step at a time. So I'm going back to the daily. Daily's in leg D. Let's see if the daily is giving any clues at all as to where the next stopping point would be, either a target or a stopping point. And that says this cluster, the gap, we already filled the gap. So you have to go to the high of this particular candle of the 15th of June, which is 84.47. I'll draw in the pattern right now from 84.47. That's this one, right? But I always bump up against the one next to it, if it like a barrier. I like to do that. And now it's a more a visual thing, but I do like to choose a particular candle. And that candle becomes very important in the measurement in time, as well as the left side to right side price time match. So this is what I'm looking at. That becomes green. You don't have to have all these tools. I just do this because it makes it so much easier to talk about when I'm showing them live. And that says, ooh, really? And that quickly, huh? That says by, there we go, by next week. Is it next week? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it says by next week, the high of the 15th of June, which is at 84.47, would become a target. I need to just correct that. Oh, it's 2 weeks' time. It's got 2 weeks in which to get to 84. Could do it in a day, could do it in 2 weeks. You don't know, but that would be the target. Now, to confirm that that's all in play, I need to draw in my Chapman Wave inside wedge target repellent zone. So I have a rule of thumb, and that rule of thumb says, since it's on the way up, it has to be a green thumb. Green thumb says, now remember all of these things, changing it to dashed line, changing it to green, you don't have to do all that. I do it because it's really important that I'm articulating my thoughts. So let's go right here. This would be the plumb line. It doesn't work. I have to move it out to where the candle is that I use, and now I can go to the right side. So it's like a gravy cup, slightly bumpy. Got a sharp move down and then a slow move to the upside, and there it is. So XLE is acting very well. 78 is key support now. 79 to 78. That area is very, very important support, acting very, very well. So for those of you who are in the XLE, yeah, good play. And I think that who we were speaking with yesterday also had options. So now let's look at the VLO, waiting for leg D. Yep, there it is, leg D. That's Valero. Okay, what was the other one we had in the den? Who said that? Thanks, okay, USCL. Oh, yes. So I had a stock, NTF, moving what was it? The N stock. Was it a T? No, it was Nuveen. But I didn't realize until the other day when I was looking at all the fertilizers that NTR, someplace had, when I Googled it, had it as Nuveen. But then I checked out, no, it's Nutrient Limited. I wondered why it looked like an agricultural stock. Retail AG Solution Fertilizers, etc. Peak E in the monthly chart, peak D in the 118-ish area, drops to the 70, almost cut in half, and then it has a whopper of a move, and it's in leg E to the upside. Yeah, so that was the pattern that we were looking at. Remember this Chapman Wave falling axe formation? It went under it. Now it's had a big pop-up, and the MACD's good. Stochastic's flat. That's fabulous at 85%. On balance volume says tad overbought. Just be a little careful, tad overbought. IPI, someone just said IPI. Now IPI, have I got, yep, notated. There it is. And we've got, IPI and a caller. So IPI is also in leg D. That's Intrepid Potash. What a big move, 7% today. 3.45. Let's go to our caller. We have, Brent and Martinez. Brent, how are you? Do I have Brent in Martinez?
You there, Basil?
Sure. Yep, I'm there. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you, Basil?
I'm well. So you'd like to look at?
Macy's. I bought into this yesterday. I have the 1850 September calls. And I just wanted to get your thoughts, if you could take a look at it, please.
So, first of all, I just wanted to ask you, because it came up on my list of stocks. I didn't have anything that showed why, but in my memory, I said, everyone's talking about retail. Have a look at Macy's, and then I completely forgot to look at it. But I'm looking at it now, and I have A, B, C. It made a peak D right at the 200-period exponential moving average. So let me just ask you the question: What made you go into Macy's at this time?
I'll answer you when we come back from the break.
Okay. Oh, music's, yep. Thank you very much. Well, hold on. Folks, Dow's up 10, S&P's up 13. We're back with Brent and Martinez. Looking at Macy's up 7% today. Congratulations. I'll be right back with Brent.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. So we're on with Brent in Martinez, California. We're looking at Macy's trading at 20.02, up $1.41, up 7.58%. And it almost did the one-to-one Chapman propeller shaft pattern that we were looking at in the weekly chart of that peak D way up in the 37 area, and it slumped to 16, so it got cut in half. So, Brent, what gave you the idea to actually to even look at Macy's, let alone put on a call contract, which has worked out fantastically? What were you looking at?
I have to give some credit to Thinkorswim, the show that comes on at 9 o'clock my time. They'll go over a variety of different stocks, but they do like to look at retail stocks. That seems to be an area that they have some focus on. They have a person come on that's kind of their specialty, and so that's it. Initially got me interested in the fact it was down yesterday, and had been down enough in my mind that if they were to come in with any kind of a beat, that it could go the other direction. So that's why.
Did they come in with a beat today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You know, I'm looking, and that's one of the reasons why I can't get overly bearish on this market, because companies are starting to come in, well, not starting, for most of the year. In fact, a lot of the companies are coming in with pretty darn good earnings. How we come out of this in the third part of the quarter this year, going into September, that's going to be the big thing. But in the meantime, this is the proof of the pudding. Here it is, Macy's. Retail. What has it done to the retail index? And I don't think you can get with this retail index. If you look at the monthly chart for a huge bear market since the height was made, so this is 20%. This is the ETF, the RTH, going into November of 2021 at 199. Slumping down to the 140s and coming back and just recently hitting 181, that doesn't look like a really bearish market. It doesn't look like a real bear market. It looks like a market that's found support. It's gone right to, this is the RTH, it's gone right to Chapman Wave inside track repellent zone. In the monthly chart, you wouldn't have expected that. If I look at the XRT, that's a little different because that does not have 20% Amazon. That's a different species altogether. And in fact, that's the one that I look at, and that's the thing that says there's still a lot of stuff out there that hasn't worked. So I have to congratulate you. You're the one that did the timing here with the calls. Do you have the position long as well, or just the calls?
I just did the calls on this one, Basil.
Have you taken profits, or what are you doing now?
I'll probably take some off. I can take half off and then let the other go for a little bit here.
Yeah, because the MACD is good. The 90 is over the 14 period on the daily chart. The weekly chart needs a lot of work, but the daily chart is the only thing that can help the weekly chart, and the weekly chart MACD has just finally turned positive. So I would say that probably in the today's high is 2020. It's almost there right now. I'd say in the 2110 to 2180 area. That's kind of important, because if that gets taken out sooner rather than later, then all of a sudden that 2150 area in the 200 period moving average, where it's stalled at a peak D before, that could become a target. So I like your idea. Take some off now, keep some, and if it's holding very well, you're in a position. Are you what strike price and what month?
September 1850.
Oh, you got time. Okay, very good. Oh, you're in 1850, so you're nicely in the money. Yeah, very good very good planning and a nice trade. And I agree with you. Take a little bit off. All I would say to you is the selling pressure. If you look at the weekly chart, the red candles just far outweigh the green candles. So you want to see this green candle holding, even if it pulls back a bit, all the way through the week, because that'll say, hey, Macy's, don't ignore Macy as a slow turnaround, but a turnaround nevertheless. Good idea. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Basil. You have a great day, great week, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks for calling, and congratulations. So, folks, there are a couple of things that I wanted to do here. I had yesterday there was a call on email on a CYN, CyNGN, Inc. Tech for self-driving vehicle solutions. I haven't had a chance. I'm putting together a group of mostly single-digit, they don't have to be, but mostly single-digit stocks that I see have the whole idea of self-driving, the whole initiation of anything to do with the logistics of having the self-driving mechanism, electronics, be integrated into the battery-operated cars, because that in itself is a huge field. There are going to be some winners and there are going to be some losers. But the ones that are really assisting companies like a Tesla or any of the electric vehicle companies, or the companies like a Ford or a General Motors that now are putting a lot of emphasis in the electric side of it. I think it's nice. Just as I've been talking to subscribers, we've been looking at biotechs. I might still, even though some of them had a spectacular moves from single digits to even higher, it's just nice to have a bunch to be looking at. And so CYNGN, it's not doing anything now to $1.41. This is one that you need to do a little more research, but the chart is saying it's trying to elevate off the 130 level and try to create 130 to 125 as a base to constantly have springs to the upside towards the upper ones, 150, 160, 170. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, this fits that category. I don't know if I can do anything on a very short-term basis. I don't think you've got to look at these as short-term. Think of them as the electronic or battery biotechs. That's all the way you can do it. So talking about that, someone said, could you just go through your thinking today on this IMVT? So every once in a while for subscribers, I have a stock that I call a screamer. The screamer is a stock that is a single digit. It is in an area that could very well be a hot area on the day or the next couple of days. It is a stock that has had a big spike to the upside. Some of them just continue up and up and up. You remember we had this thing that I never got into. I said, this is when you got to close your eyes and buy. This is VIA. No, it wasn't VIA. It was V. Was it VIA? Wait, don't tell me I lost all that notation. Oh, no. VAI. No. Was it VIA? Why do I not have my notations here? All right, well, I can't even talk about it. It's one that, I'll find it. But there are a number of stocks that just kept going up and going up. Even leg D kept going up. So I said, all right, let's do this. IMVT. We looked at it as it was yesterday, and I did the 120-minute chart, and I did the weekly, I did the monthly, I did the left side, right side price time match. And this one, for the weekly, I didn't go to the bottom low because that looked as if, yes, it could work out, but that's a little bit too long. Let's be a little bit more aggressive and see if in the next, by next week, we can get to that target of 659. So I said to subscribers, this is one that you grab at the open if it's like a penny above the high of the previous day, and then grab it, and you've got to have stops all the way. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a pullback. But my target was this left side high of 638. If it could go to 639, it starts leg D. But I said you can only buy it before it gets to leg D, 6.39, because my target is the 650. Well, what did it do today? It gapped up, continued high, it went to 646, and then pulled back. Too late for us.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hi folks, we're back. I'm going to get back to what I was talking about with that stock Univant. Let me just do this. So that's an E. So I had just a question in the den about JEPI, and I can't remember. For some reason, the chart pattern, remember, I have this ability to recall chart patterns. I might not remember what the name is, but I do recall the pattern. And I must have done this before, but I haven't got it notated, so therefore maybe I didn't, or it was eliminated when I lost my data on one of those electric shutoffs. Yeah, so JPI is trading at 57.28. This is JP Morgan Equity Fund, I think Equity P. Oh, I don't know what that is. So it looks to me like it's just curving around. It failed to get to the 200-period moving average of 58. It's in at peak F. I've got it. This could be an alternate count, but I think it's going to digest gains. My guess is going to trade between 50, 57. Oh, yeah, this has to do with, yeah, I can see what it is. The investment seeks current income while maintaining prospects for capital appreciation. The fund seeks to provide the majority of the returns associated with its primary benchmark, the Standard & Poor's 500 total return. Thank you very much, Duffy. I appreciate that. Yeah, it had, when I looked at the numbers and I saw that it moved so quickly, but it actually only went from 54 to 57. It's almost like a bond fund in a way. Don't think of it that way. I think it's in a digestive phase. How it holds 56.60 on any pullback over the next 2 weeks is going to be very important. But I also think it's got a lot of resistance in the mid to upper 57s. I don't think it's going to break above 58.30, at least for a good few weeks. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now. So let me just get back to my IMVT and just to explain what I was looking at. But the other way that I like to do it is that if it closes with a candle that says to me, you see this long-legged Chapman Wave Roman candle right here from yesterday on IMVT, which is Immunovant Inc., Autoimmune Therapies. I wanted a little bit of a pullback just under 6. And if we got it under 6 before it went to 639, leg D, then I said, I have a whole bunch of things what to do, how to take some off immediately and then raise the stop, etc., etc. And regardless of what would have happened if we had got it, we would have made money. And it's the whole thing about these screamers that can make you between 3 and 6%, not in a day. It usually, if it works within 25 to 50 minutes. And then you can make a decision about whatever else you do. Anyway, I just wanted to bide our time while we're waiting for certain things to happen. We're looking to buy certain ETFs on a sharp pullback. And we haven't got that yet. At least we haven't got to the area that I feel comfortable with to get back into areas that we have been 3 times long. I want to be also in the single one-to-one positions. I don't, because you can see from yesterday, I showed my subscribers how the pullback was so severe that it went down in some cases almost to an entry level when there had been a 40% gain. I mean, that is huge. So you've got to treat anything with three times the root as very delicate. Just you got to treat it with respect. You cannot hang on to it unless you're in so low that you just feel very comfortable that at this particular point it's not going back there. And we do that with one of the positions. In 25s, it's a 32. Anything can happen. So GDX, you see what I'm saying? The weekly GDX, and the GDX moved pattern-wise was even nicer than the gold itself. And I want to see the gold miners, market vectors, gold miners ETF. I want to see establish some leadership role here. I don't like it when gold goes on its own. I want to see the gold miners themselves as a group. Certainly you need leadership there, but I want it as a group to move higher. So GDX is trading at 25.88, up 60 cents. It had a high of 26.22. Yes, this is a good move, but the 9 is still way under the 14 and the daily. The weekly chart, this H pattern here says, there is so much that has to happen in the gold, the GDX, for me to become really positive, not just positive, but to say gold is now going to lead the way up as the dollar takes a much bigger breather than the little bit that it had from the 19th of July at 109 down to 104 on the 10th of August, and then in 9 days or something, 8 days, it goes all the way back and goes to 109.27. Now, I have to call this a gray leg B. Now, that's the whole thing about the Chapman wave. This is worth talking about because there are now so many people using Chapman wave methodology. So let me just explain. You see, first of all, you see this declining channel, and a breakout says it's like a falling axe formation. You can go one to the upside. So the dollar did that. But what's really important, and you see the halfway marker of the little doji, is that until it takes out 109.29, it's called a gray leg B to the upside in this particular case. If the starting point, which is way down here in the 101 area, to start the actual buy signal to buy mode of the previous major high, if that was taken out in this, I'd have no choice but to say if it broke above E, that has to be considered a B. But no, it held just a minor pullback from 109 to 104, and now it's rallying. So yes, it's gray leg B. The MACD is good. Stochastic's fabulous at 93%. The on-balance volume is flat because I'll have to show you the UUP because that has volume. See, the on-balance volume's a tad overbought right now. But look, the UUP, the dollar bull, which we've had since 23.62, April the 4th of 2018, and we've only taken two little bits off at 25.94 a long time ago, and then again at 28.86. It went to 29.20, exactly to the penny, the left side high of the 14th of July. I think there's still enough energy to say that it should go to a leg B. And then the moment it goes to 29.21, I have to, if it did it today, that I'd extend that leg A and say F. I have to pick up the previous high because we didn't take out that low. It means you could still be in that major buy mode. And then it would go F/A. If it's tomorrow and it gets there, it'll be F/B. And then I have to assess and say, everything looks so strong and the weekly chart is improving. I'm going to have to lift that F and say this is a brand new buy signal to buy mode, but I haven't done it yet. And I want to see, we thought that if it was next week, after going to the 1st of September, then we would get that leg D. But this is 1 penny higher, and the dollar bull, the UUP, trading at 29.02, down 15 cents, continues leg C in the monthly chart. So I'm still very much favoring the dollar as the lead currency. So GDX, So GDX is, as a trade, that's fine. At this particular point, I don't see it as a buy and hold. I just see it as trade, get your money out. But I'll tell you something now, just before we go to the break. NG, which is Nova Gold Resources, which we had a number of times in the 450 area. And I just didn't play it right because I made the stop too tight and we just get stopped out. It's trading at $5.10 in leg E, going into this channel. Talk about channels, I'll draw it, will come back. Basil, Chapman, Tiger, South, Dow's done.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges at which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Oh, boys, look how important the 200-period moving average is. Yeah, the 1-minute E-mini chart, it's been up and down, and now it's just under the 41.46 200-period moving average, and it's been making these beautiful cup formations or arch formations with a beautiful time price match. Look at that. This is the one from 7:50 this morning, and it broke it at exactly the time it should. Then it made the cup, and if you use the plumb line of the low, it turns out that the exact low was the number of bars from the left side to the right side at another peak D. And now you've gone A, B, peak C1, C2, that acts like a D, and now it's arching over. So I just wanted to show you that. But here's a couple of things that I need to do. Macy's, so first of all, thank you, George. A number of people have mentioned as well as George, I need to correct myself. Yeah, same-store sales were 1.5% lower than the previous year. But that just tells me that on the short term, that's why both Brent and I were looking at this more on the short-term situation. Yeah, the inventories that all these companies have built up, it's just amazing. I mean, Target, Walmart, every one of them. So, yeah, you've got to keep that in mind. So, but as a trade, yeah, Macy's can move a little higher. But look at this NG Nova Gold trading at 506, up 21 cents, up 4.3% today. It's in this unbelievable, look at this channel. It's got the Chapman Wave Inside Track Repellent Zone. We'll make that green. We'll do this just as we're going to wrap up this particular final segment of the day. I'll be back with Tom a little later on this afternoon. It's hitting the red. or pink, I make it pink. Inside track repellent zone. It's just gone a beautiful channel, and it's like a little ping pong ball inside a tube, and it just bounces from the up to the down. It's wait. Is this going to be a pickleball? Yeah, this is a little pickleball, Nova Gold pickleball, and it's gone from the top to the bottom, with a rising trend, and it's not breaking that trend. It will at 525, but it hasn't now, and it's acting. So I'm saying that in gold, be very specific. Look at each chart and do your own homework, because you're not getting a bigger picture from the actual gold contract. I hope that helps you, and I'll be back. Stay tuned. You've got Steve Rhodes coming up. Then you've got Thinkorswim, Pesavento, Dave White, Tom O'Brien. I'll be back with Tom.